Development last night.
Tips that may have gone unchecked now have the sheriff's office under the microscope. Some are speculating they botched the investigation. The meter reader who led deputies to the bones they believe are Caylee's last week called deputies 3 times back in August about the same area. In his first call 4 months ago, he mentioned a mysterious plastic bag. Well, today we could find out who the meter reader is. He may even take questions about those calls that have deputies reviewing exactly how they were handled.
All right, this case is unfolding hour by hour. We've certainly seen it since we first broke this news last Thursday. Local 6 Morning News reporter Tiffany Tift back out at the search scene on Suburban Drive. And this meter reader, what's interesting here is he made the first call back in August 11th. He comes back out and makes the discovery exactly 4 months later, December 11th. Interesting there. Also, talk about this snake we're talking about that may have scared investigators away.
Yeah, Eric, sounds very strange, right? Well, that's what one of the meter reader's co-workers told us. They said that this deputy came out, attempted to approach this bag, but was scared off by a snake. In fact, he apparently cleared the call and never came back, and now here we are 4 months later. On August 11th, an Orange County water meter reader calls in a crime line tip saying he spotted a bag partially submerged off the side of Suburban Drive.
The deputy responds out to the scene, takes a look at this area, monitors the area, surveils the area, see what's available here for them to find, does not find anything, and they clear the call.
On August 12th, the same utility worker calls in the same tip. The bag is still there in the same spot. This time, the tip goes to a detective who never comes out and apparently dismisses the tip.
They had information at that time that detective was handling it. The area had been searched, which the area had been searched previously. By cadaver dogs, we understand, but exactly what area we're still trying to determine.
Then, on August 13th, according to a co-worker, the meter reader calls yet again about the bag that's still there. This time, a deputy responds. The deputy starts to work his way back into the woods toward the bag, but encounters a large snake. The deputy turns back, leaves the scene, and never makes it to the bag.
That's where we're trying to determine the thoroughness of the follow-up.
4 months later, last Thursday, December 11th, the same meter reader returns to the same spot, this time picking up the bag. A child's skull rolls out and he calls yet again. Finally, this time, the call is answered. Now, the sheriff's office is now conducting an administrative review as to what happened, and we may hear more later today. But what you're looking at right now is some of the debris and dirt that investigators have been going through at this crime scene for over a week now. Now, the crime scene may be released today. Of course, we've been telling you that for many days now. So, of course, the answer to that is still up in the air. For now, reporting live, I'm Tiffany Tift, Local 6 Morning News.
All right, Tiffany, the unidentified meter reader has been trying to steer clear of the media. We know that, but as we mentioned, he may hold a news conference later this morning, which of course we will cover should that be the case. We've also learned the county has hired an attorney because the meter reader will likely, obviously, be called as a witness in the case. His supervisors tell Local 6 they did not know he made the initial tip calls back in August. The reader apparently just went about his job until he was reassigned back to the same area last week. That's when he made the discovery 4 months to the day after he made that first call. Yesterday, we got a chance to hear that first call. Utility dispatchers he made to them after the discovery in the woods. Have a listen.
I'm in the wooded area down by the school. I need you like now. I just found a human skull. Okay, down to the sheriff's department. They got somebody coming down there. Do not do anything to cause any attention whatsoever. Just stay right there and they'll meet with you. Understood, Rob. Be careful.
Now, previously we heard from the supervisor, that 911 call. This is actually the meter reader call, and he was pulled off the streets after he made that discovery, a move made by his bosses to try and help him elude reporters who obviously, our job is to try and track him down and ask the questions. Hopefully today we'll get that chance.
Another interesting twist today. We already knew one of Casey Anthony's childhood friends told investigators she and Casey used to hang out in the woods as kids, no more than 50 feet from where the remains were found. Well, now that friend is talking and told the National Enquirer some disturbing details. Kamari Torres Cruz was paid for her story in the Enquirer. In the article, she took deputies to the place, she says, that Casey Anthony called the Zone 5 months ago, but they didn't find anything. She also says as kids, they not only hung out in the area, they buried their pets. Here's what she says. When one of Casey's hamsters died, we had a ceremony out there wearing all black clothing and reading prayers over the body. Then we sat down on blankets and ate Cheetos. When I heard where the body was found, I started crying. Who else would put a body there? Torres is on the state's witness list. She could help prosecutors establish a motive. She claims Casey did not want to have kids. She even told the Inquirer when Casey found out she was pregnant, she wanted to have an abortion. Torres even offered to adopt the child, but she says Cindy Anthony put a stop to that. Now, the revelations about the meter reader leave the door wide open for the defense.
Certainly, we talked to talk show host, former attorney Nancy Grace, about how it could leave doubt in a jury's mind.
The remains were not there earlier when the area was cleared, apparently by police and cadaver dogs. And therefore, the remains were put there while top mom Casey Anthony was behind bars, ruling her out. That is an obvious argument.
Jose Baez, you know him, Casey's attorney, says it's that kind of argument that has the Baez law firm issuing this statement you're looking at. It's a perfect example of why the media and the public should not be prejudging this case. Law enforcement has been and continues to withhold vital information that could clear Casey Anthony. Casey deserves the presumption of innocence until all the information and all the facts are brought forward, end quote.
Shows like Nancy Grace, Dr. Phil, who covered this in his show last night at 7, show that the search for Caylee has become a huge story for everyone. Just how attached people are to this story, including you. And you're letting us know on our new website, clickorlando.com. Since we broke news about the meter reader story, our share your comments section has completely exploded.
Yeah, we thought that'd be the case when we added it. Literally hundreds of you have written to us. Many of you have the exact same questions we do. Judy wrote this. When he phoned it in back in August, did he use his cell phone? Did he have a camera phone? Did he take photos? Why did he open the bag? Why did he not open the bag back in August? The whole story just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Look at this from Jim Moran, it looks like, wrote the utility worker is curious enough to poke at a bag in December. Why didn't he poke at the same thing back in August? Is it the same bag?
Yeah, we're all asking those questions. We hope to get some answers for you. But in the meantime, we have to say we have no specific knowledge about whether he looked in the bag earlier than December or didn't during that previous time.
We would think if that were the case, he would have been a little more adamant about coming out to look at the bag.
Well, he did call twice.
Yeah.
I mean, so, we don't know those details. Remember, we're only getting what the sheriff's department tells us until the meter reader might say some things to us today. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, keep the comments coming. Just go to our new website, clickorlando.com, click on the story, you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and that's where you can leave your comments.
All right, so how did deputies miss this evidence in August? Was it bad detective work? We're talking to a former deputy turned private investigator about the case coming up at 5:30. Also at 5:30, after hundreds of crime scene photos are released, we discover what could be a child's book in one of them, what that could mean to the case.